Well, I thought I'd give you guys a little update as to why I am not making very many YouTube videos lately. I've been just showing some love to my cars here. I just finished oiling the undercarriage on the Impala here. And I'm just letting it idle, letting the oil that got on the exhaust burn off nice and slowly. It's actually quite hazy in here, you can't really tell on the camera, but I'm just using transmission fluid. Where's my setup here? Right here. Just some cheap co-op stuff. Does the trick. I did buy a 15-foot hose, but it won't fit on there. There's actually no hose that's exactly that size at co-op, so typical. It's a little bigger, so I'll just probably get a couple clamps and just clamp it down. But I don't know, you know, I'm just kind of thinking this isn't that bad actually. You just kind of carry the jug with you and do your stuff. It's not too bad. And it might start getting limited flow if I have too long of a hose, so I might just say screw it and use it like this. Smoke is kind of settling now. Yeah, old Nocky's still knocking. I don't know if you remember how many kilometers it had on the very first video I took of it, like the day I brought it home. I believe it had 60 some, maybe 61 or 63 or something, so maybe even less, I don't know. But I know I have at least put 10,000 kilometers on this car with it knocking. Although lately I haven't been driving it because I blew a brake line, and like it was just the flex line, so I got two new flex lines. Tried to take the flex line off and it just ended up twisting the rotten old metal brake lines. So now I need to get all new brake lines for the front. So I also, my starter calved out on me. I just took it to town the other day to wash it up so I can do this undercarriage oiling. And of course the starter decided to tap out when I was ready to leave in the car wash bay. Luckily I had my jack all in the back of in the trunk there. I just took the handle off, and you know, on a Chevy you can see the starter from the top, so I just got my jack all handle and I was just giving it taps and going back and trying it. Did that about 10 times and it finally just barely started. So I'll tell you, I went straight home after that. And then of course when I got home it was working just fine. But I took the starter off and checked it out here, and actually one of the brushes were bad. It was just about rubbing on the brush holder. These brushes new are about this thick. So yeah, just dug in my hoard of starters there in that cupboard back yonder, and just stole a brush, and the other three were just fine. Had about half brush left. And yeah, so now all four of the brushes are about halfway, so it works great now. And I finally dug out the flywheel, the plastic flywheel cover that was always sitting in the trunk, and put it on. That didn't help the starter either. The starter was literally right full of dirt and gravel and all that. So now she's working like a dream. She's all oiled up underneath, so she ain't gonna rust away on me. Oh, look at that, I missed a little wee spot right here. Oh well. Yeah. Well, the smoke is dying down quite a bit now. Just got to give you a show of how good the starter works now. No problem. Loves life again. Was sounding bad for quite a while there. But anyways, that's what I'm up to. I've got a good 7 more cars to oil. I think next I'm going to do the Mazda, because it lives again. As you guys don't know, I've been driving it for about 2 months now. Got my timing belt and water pump on there. I got a new strut for it, just sitting right over there in that box. So yeah, the Mazda's going to get treatment next. Yeah, you guys don't even know, I bought 81 Marquee. I've been up to a lot lately. Parisienne's sitting here looking all sad with its wrecked grill. I haven't drove that thing to town in at least half a year. I think in the spring, or no, it was in the fall actually, I think. I can't remember. Hit a little baby deer. The little bugger just destroyed my grill, so figured, okay, that's it. It'd give me just about 3 years of reliable use. I'm gonna park it now until it gets a nice full body restoration, then it can go to town again. But anyways, next car up to get oiled, it's the Mazda, and then I'll probably maybe do the 78 Firebird. Blew a rat hose, so I can't really move it right now. My dad's truck I gotta do too. Parisienne, I gotta wash it again. I drove it on a rainy day there and I got it muddy again. I want to make sure there's not a trace of dirt or mud when I oil it. And the 81 I haven't washed yet since I bought it a couple weeks ago, so it's got to get washed and then oiled. The 84, it can't exactly go to town because it's got a safety inspection and a little rust hole in the frame, so it'll never pass inspection unless I redneck fix it up so that they can't see the hole in the frame, which is probably what I'll do, but that won't be until the far future. Anyways, I don't know, I'll have to get my pressure washer at home here working, and then I can wash it up, give it a good oiling. And the Olds is dead in the water. I did a friggin' reverse donut here last winter to turn it around so it was facing the way it is. And there's a whole bunch of long oil rig sucker rods right here. They're really long, and one just happened to get caught up in the car while I was doing that reverse donut, and it ripped the starter wire right out. Destroyed my CV axle boot, and probably didn't do too much good for the CV axle. And yeah, I parked it there, pulled that sucker rod out, and then I was just assessing the damage, and then all of a sudden the car shut off and I went to turn the key and just nothing. So yeah, I don't know, it must have needed that starter wire hooked up there to run. There's probably a whole bunch of wires going to that main power wire onto the solenoid of the starter, and once that, I don't think it ripped right off, but pretty much right off, and then yeah, it just didn't have enough voltage or whatever to power everything, and then it just shut down. So yeah, it's still sitting there. I have to do something about it, and then it'll eventually get an undercarriage oiling. And we're going to walk out back here. See that butte? Apparently it only has 50,000 original kilometers. That's just some dude that we know. He comes fishing here. He's gone with his boat right now. That's a Chrysler 5th Avenue, or I guess a New Yorker 5th Avenue edition. Oh, I'm too shaky for that much zoom. Man, isn't that car a beauty? Not a speck of rust on it. He was actually trying to sell it a couple years ago for something crazy like 3 or 4 grand. I guess maybe it's worth it because it is in literally mint condition, but I think the vinyl top's a little ragged. So you can maybe kind of tell there. And yeah, I talked to him a little bit about it, but I just figured it was too much money. I noticed there's a wet spot on the differential, so it's definitely got a differential leak. I don't know if he looks after the level of it or not, or if he just drives it and doesn't care. I don't know. Sure runs nice though. But I won't be buying that one, I don't think. He won't sell it now. He fell in love with it. I don't blame him. I would have fell in love with it too if it was mine. Anyways, enough daydreaming about that car. Just worry about the ones I got for now. Anyways, that's what I've been up to lately. Thanks for still being subscribed if you are still subscribed. Oh, there's Kitty. Hey Kitty. You gonna say hello to YouTube? Quit running away from the camera.